Hello, welcome back to Imp of B, and the tidying of the van continues. Today I have started this end in the cupboard that goes over the driver's cab. So it is a bit of a balance because some things are coming out of the van, but I'm afraid I have been buying, so I thought today would be a good chance to show you some of my new van toys. But first, let's go through some of the things that are coming out of the van. And the good news is they are quite bulky things, so it's freed up quite a bit of space. The first thing, I have got a single quilt in the van that I used to find, well, it's great for winter camping anyway, so if I'm going away during the autumn and winter, it'll be back in here. But it was mainly used because the seats, when we had the original Bongo seats, they were quite lumpy, so more often than not the quilt was used over the top of the seats to attempt to flatten them out a little bit, and then to keep warm what I've got is a double sleeping bag. I think with the weather the way it is at the moment, this would be far too warm, to be honest, but it's nice and compact. It's a lot more compact than the quilt. So the quilt is coming out and the sleeping bag will stay in, and I did make some blinds, some make do and mend blinds out of an old picnic blanket, which is on another video if you haven't seen it. So what I will be keeping in this cupboard then are the various window blinds, and I would like to make a bag to put them in to keep them nice and tidy, because at the moment they are a little liable to get damaged in there. I've got my poncho that I bought on holiday in Portugal. I've had it, gosh, many years, and I absolutely love it. And even in the summer sometimes, if you go camping and you've got to walk across to the toilet block, or you're outside around a campfire, it can sometimes still get a bit chilly in the evenings, even in the summer. So I have my little poncho, and it's a wool blend, so it's really lovely and warm, and I just love the smell of it. It smells of my van now, so that is definitely will be staying in here. And these are boots. They're Rocket Dog. I bought them in TK Maxx probably more than 10 years ago, and they are so scruffy now, but again, walking across dewy old grass in the morning, if you're in your nightie or some shorts and you don't really want to be getting fully dressed in the morning, I just chuck these on. They're pretty waterproof even now, and yeah, as you can see, fashion doesn't really come into my camp wear gear, but yeah, so they stay in here permanently. And a variety of hats. In the winter, I make these, I crocheted this one, so I've always got a variety of different hats around. And then this one I bought quite a few years ago from a camping shop somewhere, one of the old sort of tilly hats. It's leather. This strap's brilliant, so it stays on in the wind, and if it's rainy it just is really lovely, keeps the rain off your face. So yeah, and you can really abuse this poor hat and roll it up, and it always forgives you, so that is good to get stuffed in the cupboard. But as you can see, this cupboard is huge, which is probably a bad thing for me, but that's pretty much all that's going to be in there, because the plan is when we go away for a proper camp, that'll hold our clothes. So that's pretty much emptied out. And the other thing is a pillow. It does take up a lot of room, and I've got, which I'm going to put in the van, a hiking pillow which folds up really small and is perfectly adequate for a pillow for the van. And I've got all these other cushions and things in here, so that's going as well. I'm jettisoning my quilt and my pillows. There's only 2 items, but that's a lot of space that they were taking up. apart from a few odds and ends, books and a couple of items of pencil cases and things, that's it to the clear out. Now on to the far more exciting new things. So we've decided, because it seems likely that if any campsites open this year, they are maybe not going to be able to have showers and toilet facilities open. So we've sort of thought maybe we need to think, because we don't have, we've never had a toilet on board or a shower. So I've ordered a camping toilet, which is arriving later this week. So I shall show you that when it arrives. But meanwhile, we have bought one of these 12-volt showers, and comes in a really nice little drawstring bag. This one it's 12-volt, but it's not rechargeable, so you do have to have it connected to the cigarette lighter or your 12-volt supply to use. It's about £23, I think. I think the prices have gone up because there did seem to be a bit of a shortage on Amazon and the other sites, and I think other people are thinking exactly the same, so they're all buying these for camping this year. So it's got a really nice long cable to connect to your 12-volt supply, little on-off switch, and then this is the pump that goes into your water source, and that's connected then to, feels pretty robust, nice shower head, and it's got an adjustable flow little lever on there. I will put a link in the description for where I've got this from, but we thought we'd try it out on film and you can see it first with us. Robust. It's surprisingly powerful. There's a lot of water flow. The drawback of that, of course, is it does use a lot of water, so I think we're going to have to be quite careful with this, and maybe soap yourself off and then just use this for rinsing. It's not going to be like a shower at home. And the other thing is, we would be using this in our awning. I'm not proposing buying another tent, a toilet tent. I know some people do have those, but we would be, you know, using what we've got. So the awning that we've got, I'm hoping we would be able to shower in there. We've tried it out in our washing up bowl, but that obviously doesn't hold much water. So we're going to have to look at a bucket or a collapsible bucket, hopefully. And then working out standing in, again, something that holds water like a bucket while we rinse off. But in terms of shower flow, this is brilliant. I'll put a link in the description where I bought it from. I know you can get rechargeable showers which charge into your 12-volt supply, and then you can use them away from your van. This one, because it's got the cigarette lighter fitting, you have to be near your van, but it's got a really long cable, so you could sort of go a little bit of a distance from your van. And what I was thinking is, it's also good for washing Teddy if we've taken her and she's really muddy. She'll love that because she absolutely hates water. So yes, that is our first gadget, and I'm hoping that'll give us a new means of keeping clean while we're away. Moving on to the second item. It's very dinky and it's very exciting, and I have been guilty of seeing this on one of the other YouTubers, and I think it's Gareth and Zoe. They use these little Twig stoves, and I've seen them, Simon, a bloke in the woods as well, use them. And I just couldn't resist. I've got a stove in the van, don't need that. What I'm thinking of more is if we go off wild camping, I quite like the idea of having a fire. I'm always nervous of fires, of causing fires and damage and, you know, leaving a mess behind. But this is a little Twig stove, so you can actually cook on it, and you can put twigs in it, so it seems quite controlled. And I thought it would be, it's a bit of a gimmick really, but I thought in the van, if we are somewhere where we want to have a fire outside, or maybe toast some marshmallows. So I'm going to open this up now and you can see it set up. But that's it in its pack. You can see it's very compact, so that's not going to take up much room at all in the van. So I've set the stove up. It takes a bit of practice, but once you've got the hang of it, it's really only a minute or two to set it up. So this is the stove set up. It's got this little cross on the top made out of the aluminium that you can rest a pan on. So if you were wanting to boil water or warm something up on the stove, you could do that. There's a little tray that slots into the bottom for you to put your fuel, your little twigs on. And it's also got a separate tray which you can use for if you've got one of these spirit burners. So it seems pretty versatile. As I said, it's really light. So I'm planning, if it doesn't rain tonight, I'm going to test this. I've been picking up some sticks this afternoon, so I'll give it a whirl and we can have a little look to see how that's going to work. But yeah, I quite like it, and it was less than £20. So we're going to try the stove this evening, as long as the rain stays off. I have been down for a walk today with Holly. We walked down to our local woods to collect some sticks. And we did a little video while we were down there because the woods were really lovely today, birds singing. So I hope you find the next clip nice and relaxing. hope you enjoyed the woodland sounds there. It's literally a 10-minute walk from our house, and it's a lovely escape. So the excuse was to go and collect twigs, but we had a lovely walk as well. So I'm really disappointed. It hasn't stopped raining since I bought this little stove, and I'm determined to at least have a go for 5 minutes maybe, just so that you can see it. There we are. I think it's mostly the firelighter going at the moment, but you get the idea. Needs a long twig to move things around in there. And hopefully you can rest your pan of water on that little cross thing on the top there. Shame I've got all these lovely twigs. Blinking weather. Something primal about a fire though. Even a dinky one like this. Okay, so the twigs are catching, even though the rain's getting quite heavy now, so you can hear it spluttering a little bit, but I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of how good this can be. There's a nice crackling in there as well. Highlighters, I bought these. Got them in Home Bargains today. I think they were about £2 for the bag. And you're supposed to just use one or two. They smell quite nice. They smell like wood, like sawdust, rather than those awful paraffin-y ones. So yeah, they seem quite good. Quite pleased with those. Thought as well. Do you remember my kettle that makes water taste horrid? I think I found a new use for it. Be like a cowboy kettle. I don't care if the water does taste horrid, that looks lovely. So the third and final item I've bought, going along back to the idea of going to sites and being independent, not needing to use toilet blocks and shower blocks. The other obvious thing I'm going to need is a toilet. Now, I spent quite a long time researching toilets, and I know it's a conversation that comes up very often on the Facebook groups of people with camper vans and bongos, and I know a lot of people have got the sort of the Thetford style flushing one, and I did and ah about that, but then I wasn't sure. They're quite a lot of money, and I wasn't sure, to be honest, the idea of all the chemicals, it seems quite a lot of, well, a lot of money to buy it, but then just, was I going to use it to warrant the spend? Because it could be that the campsites open as normal. If other places can open their toilets, I guess, as long as they're sanitising them and we're all washing our hands and using gels, etc. Who knows? But I thought, it looks like a lot of these toilets are getting bought, and I didn't want to need one and then not be able to buy one, so I have bought one. And it arrived today in the post. So it's never been used. I can't comment on how useful it's going to be, but I am tickled because there was a colour choice. You could order one in grey, which would have been the usual choice for a van, because there is a lot of grey in here. Or you could order white, and I didn't want white and I didn't want grey, so I ordered coffee coloured, and I think it's not really coffee, For those of you of a certain age, you may remember in the 70s and 80s, there was a very fashionable bathroom suite called Sun King, and it's kind of that colour. So have a little look. My new toilet. So I've lifted the toilet up. I was trying to find one that was shallow enough that I could put it under the bed at night. And I wasn't able to find one that small. So it's definitely going to be something that's kept in the shed and only comes away with us when we know we're going to be on a site or going somewhere where we're going to need not being able to do the wild toilet things. So it's very practical. The thing I like about it, you can either use the chemicals in there or the gels and the powders, cat litter and all of that palaver. But it's a nice comfortable height. It's basic. It's basically a bucket with a toilet seat and a lid. And then the bucket, which a lot smaller than I thought, so that's easier to carry, with a lid. So we're back to the 19th century and a chamber pot really, but I just thought I'd rather use this than risk toilets that are not cleaned. So I do love the coffee colour, I must admit. I love the fact that you can even fit a toilet roll in a little holder on the side. So you can get the camping carsy one. This isn't. This one is by Denny International. It was around £20, I think, from Amazon. Prompt service. It's really light. So, and I'm thinking if we do take this away, you can fill the bucket with other stuff. You could even use it as a seat, I suppose. But what I'm going to do is get some vinyl stickers to make it a bit more funky. You can just imagine what Richard said when he saw this, can't you? Do you know what? I just had a thought about my toilet as I was sitting here trying to see if it was going to fit with the bed pulled out, which it's not going to. So it would definitely be a case of if this is going to be used, it would have to be in the awning, well, our shelter. But I was sitting here then thinking, if we were away, or if I was away on my own and I had the bed pulled out, I wouldn't need to bring away the whole setup. I could just use the bucket part because that's really shallow, so that will fit under my bed. And it's got a lid, and you could use this with a cat litter thing, or chemicals, I suppose. So then I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I just buy a bucket? That's a bit of a waste of money. But in actual fact, the buckets I saw were the same price, pretty much, as that. And that gives us the option of having it as a proper toilet, more or less, in the awning. So now I'm really happy with it now. Yeah, I'm toilet happy. So I hope it's been useful or interesting for you to see the sorts of things I'm buying. Essentials, I think they are. That's how I square it with myself. The toilet, the shower are kind of what I'm thinking we're going to need to be able to camp this year. And it makes us independent, and it possibly opens up a new world of sites, because we've always had to camp in ones that have got toilet blocks at the very least and showers. So now I'm thinking, as long as it's got a chemical disposal point and running water, we can stay more out of the way. So I'm pretty happy with that. And as for my stove, I'm going to try that out tonight. So if that goes well, I'll video it and I'll put that in the post as well. And I hope you're enjoying these videos. It's really lovely. I've had quite a few comments now, and it's lovely to see people subscribing. So thank you very, very much. This is a very, very small channel, but I love making the films. I love interacting with the people who get in touch as well. So please carry on subscribing. Join me on Instagram. And next week, the next video, I am going to be taking Holly, my daughter, to her university, which is in England, because we have to go and collect her belongings from her rooms there. So it's deemed as an essential journey. So we're going to go in the Bongo, which will be great because there'll be plenty of storage, and we're going to have the day out. And I'm taking the toilet with me. You never know, just in case. So join me, that'll be next week. Meanwhile, thank you very much. I hope you're all staying safe out there. And I'll see you next time. Bye.